against the redshirt freshman goalkeeper in her first career start. That's JJ Soriano.
And that was great defense there by Nevo Farrell, making contact and forcing her out of the 8.
Emma Ward's first time with the ball, first shot and first goal for the graduate. Syracuse takes the first lead, and it's who else besides Emma Ward.
And Emma Ward in that position is so dangerous. She brings Major out, creates that space, uses her footwork to turn to her outside side, creating the opportunity for the shot.
Takes just 50 seconds and comes on Syracuse's first shot on goal. Emma Ward following up a hat trick against Albany. Gets the orange on the board first against Maryland.
And right there, I think what Maryland needs to do is they need to send that help. You see right here the replay of it. Kennedy Major guarding Ward. Ward able to get outside right past JJ.
And that's the battle of 44s you mentioned earlier. Maryland's Kennedy Major versus Emma Ward. And one thing when we were talking with head coach Kathy Reese, she said she doesn't expect anyone to be face guarded like Major was right there against Ward. Look for Maryland to maybe try to get some double teams against Ward in the future.
Yeah, she really said they don't want to look at it as taking Ward on one-on-one. They want to look at it as Maryland taking on Ward. So that help slide's got to come earlier. Meet Major there to force Ward out of the 8.
50 seconds in, and it's a 1-0 lead for the number 6 Orange against Maryland. What is the Terps' response on its second offensive possession? Here's Maisie Clevenger. Back up top it goes with Shelby Sullivan. That's a freshman from Bel Air, Maryland. One of 2 freshmen to get the start today for head coach Kathy Reese. Again, a very young Maryland team, Alexa, who's replacing 9 of its 12 starters from last year.
Yeah, and especially when you look at the attack as we're on that side of the field, Kathy Reese said earlier this week that their attack is just going to look completely different. They've been prepping all these players to be able to attack from any angle. You're not going to see the usual attack you saw last season from the Terps.
Lipkin, top to the circle with Corey Edmondson. Swung around, Maryland still trying to figure out where their offensive pieces lie. Here's the captain, Chrissy Thomas. Inside, shot and score for Jordan Lipkin. The senior matches last season's goal total. Just under 2 minutes in, Maryland ties it up at 1.
Yeah, Chrissy Thomas right there. That is where she is her most successful from that X position. You see it, the replay. She comes out, finds Lipkin. Lipkin able to finish it off. And Jordan Lipkin, unfortunately, had that injury, had to redshirt. But before that, she was such a dominant goal scorer for the Terps. You see right there, she is back on the field and ready to go.
And under a minute 45 into the 2025 season, and you mentioned coming off the injury, Lipkin getting her second goal in as many years. It's captain from captain as well, from Chrissy Thomas to Jordan Lipkin.
Yeah, you see, Kathy Reese said she's really expecting those returning players to lead this team. And for those younger players, have someone to look to. Those 2 captains starting it off right for Maryland after a caused turnover, which was not how they wanted to start it off this game.
Just under a minute, close to a minute 45 through, and it's tied up at 1. Maryland wins another draw control, and it's with Shelby Sullivan again. How about the experience coming into play so early for these 2 young teams? Emma Ward and Jordan Lipkin, these are 2 players who have been with these powerhouses for a while, and they each get on the board.
Exactly, and I think it's what we were just talking about, both coaches expecting their veterans to really take on any role they need to help their team succeed.
So all the way around, way up there for Edmondson.
Great grab there by Corey Edmondson, getting her stick up and keeping this ball in play.
And she's someone who really benefited from the offseason work this year. We'll talk a little bit more, but she was part of that U20 team that just won the 2024 Women's Lacrosse Championship in Hong Kong.
Yeah, we talked at Media Day about that experience, and she said she just learned so much all around the game.
Up for grabs and pulled away by Syracuse's Molly Guzik. Here comes the freshman.
Syracuse's defense has done such a great job of really putting pressure on Maryland. They're all out on defense. They're not even on the 8. They're past the 12, really making it hard to complete those passes.
Lena Cotter behind the cage. It goes with Olivia Adamson. Adamson defended well there by Nevo Farrell. Back up top to Caroline Trinkus. Trinkus, what does she have against Sophie Hallis in the Maryland defense? Pulled back out to Ward. Soriano faces down Ward. Ward looking for options. There's the matchup against Kennedy Major again. Ward won it last time. No help comes. Instead, the feed, the shot, and the score to Olivia Adamson. Well, we mentioned those 2 names, Emma Ward and Olivia Adamson. Those are your first 2 goal scorers for Syracuse, who takes its second lead.
Northwestern to start with it in the second half, going from left to right in their purple uniforms. It's with Nick Martinelli, who's got a game-high 16. Now over to Clayton on the left side. Bounce pass to Martinelli, his right-handed floater. In and out. Defensive rebound. No. Pulled back out by Martinelli. A couple tips. Finally, Derek Queen comes down with it, and Maryland starts its first possession of the second half. 32-29 Terps. Maryland is up by just as much as 4 in the first half. Northwestern led for about a 12-minute span. Here's Jacoby Gillespie, the Belmont transfer. Bounce pass into Julian Reese. Takes the contact, picks up his dribble. Tries to go up for a shot, and it was Nick Martinelli who came in with the defense. This one's a jump ball pointed Maryland's way with the arrow. So we'll stay with the Terps. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Juju Reese, 11 first half points. He's led the way in the scoring, and they went right back to him. This is exactly what Willard talked about.
Reese, one of 5 seniors being honored today for Senior Day in Maryland men's basketball's final home regular season game this year. Derek Queen, way out to Jacoby Gillespie. Couple taps, and Gillespie will just have it touch out of bounds. That's been the problem for Maryland today. The 12th turnover on the Terps compared to just 8 for Northwestern. Maryland still up 32-29. No points a minute into the second half between the Terps and the Wildcats. Here's Jordan Clayton to Martinelli. Dribble handoff back to Clayton, who works down the right wing. Double comes from Queen. Picks up his dribble outside to Ty Berry. Berry guarded by Rice. Works down to the left corner. Over to Clayton. Swung around to Mullins. Mullins dribble handoff to Berry with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Inside to Nicholson. Back out to Martinelli. Martinelli, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Guarded by Queen, but inside gets a good pass. The miss comes, though, from Matthew Nicholson. Defensive rebound from Julian Reese. A wide open look as the shot clock was just about to expire. Gillespie over to Julian Reese. Back to Gillespie. Into the paint. Gillespie right-handed floater. Off the rim. Pulled down by Northwestern's Nicholson. Still no points for either team. 2 minutes through this second half. Mullins in transition. Picks up his dribble. Back over to Matthew Nicholson. The 7-footer dribbles into the paint. Defense from Queen, but first a foul comes against Maryland. Matthew Nicholson will head to the line for the first time tonight. Maryland up 32-29 as the foul goes on Juju Reese for his second personal of the game.
I'm interested to see what that looks like on the replay because it really didn't look like a lot of contact from Queen. But going back to that previous possession, Ryan, you need Jacoby Gillespie to make his presence felt in this game. He's got 4 points right now. He hasn't gotten to the free throw line yet, and that is a reason why this game is so close. Maryland, the Crab 5 is so effective because all 5 of them can score, but all 5 of them need to be scoring if they want to win this game.
All 5 starters in double figures, one of just the 4 Power 5 teams in the country that can say that, as Nicholson will miss the second free throw. Splits him at the line, 32-30 in favor of Maryland, who has possession with the star point guard Jacoby Gillespie, second on the team in points per game, averaging just under 15. Gillespie down the right wing to Reese. Swung out to Miguel. He thinks about a left wing three-pointer, instead dribbles into the paint. A right-handed layup. Can't go, but the foul will go against the Wildcats. Miguel headed to the line for the first time today. He has just 3 points to his name as Maryland leads 32-30.
I can't tell if it's hesitation from Miguel or just really good defense from Northwestern, because what is it Willard said about him? It's if he never passed again, he'd be a happy man.
Yeah.
I mean, Miguel is known for taking these contested threes and making them, but he just really hasn't taken them today. Now he's getting rewarded here at the line, but just kind of been a summary of this game for Maryland.
Miguel will make the first free throw. He's second on the team with 64 makes from three-point land this year. Guy who really came in from USF to be one of those long-range snipers for Maryland this season. Miguel makes both free throws up to 5 points. Maryland lead increases to 4, 34-30, just over 2 minutes into the second half. Maryland brings the half-court pressure on the inbound, but it gets to Martinelli anyways. Over to Mullins in the left corner. He walks the baseline before a dribble pass outside to Clayton. Three-pointer up, no good. Rice brings down the rebound for Maryland. Virginia Tech transfer takes the screen from Julian Reese. Back over to Miguel. Miguel, left wing three-pointer. The hands are in the air in the Xfinity Center, and that one is down.
He was left open there, and that's just what he's going to do.
Largest lead for Maryland tonight, 37-30. Just 2.5 minutes into the second half between Northwestern and Maryland. Bounce pass to the baseline with Mullins. Wildcats looking for a response. Clayton at the left elbow. Over to Mullins. Straightaway three-pointer. Can he match it? No. Rebound up for grabs. Pulled down by Selton Miguel. Here come the Terps. Momentum on its side for a sold-out Xfinity Center in the final regular season game for Maryland. That pass from Gillespie to Reese, stolen away by Berry. 2-on-1 break. Mullins takes the pass. Left-handed layup is good. Deficit cut to 5 for the Wildcats. 37-32, Terps lead. Jacoby Gillespie, 4 points to his name. You mentioned some lower scoring numbers. How about that backcourt? Just 10 combined points for Gillespie and Rodney Rice as the ball is in Rice's hands now. Rice pass inside to Queen, but it's again stolen away by Northwestern. Here's Mullins all alone, and the two-handed flush comes from Justin Mullins. Guy not known for his scoring, but he's up to 7 points. 37-34 Terp lead. Just under 4 minutes through the second half between Maryland and Northwestern. Maryland just had that little run cut as Queen tries to dribble it down the right wing. It's going to be a foul that goes against Clayton.
Now, I like the defense so far from Maryland because really it's the offense that's been the issue. Those 4 points from Mullins are essentially just free baskets that are the results of Maryland turnovers. But going back to, you want Jordan Clayton shooting the ball if you're Maryland. He's shooting
Absolutely.
26% from the field, not a guy who's really played that much this season. So the defensive approach is fine. They just need to shoot it.
Right wing three-pointer, he can shoot it too. Second consecutive three-point make for Shelton Miguel. Maryland up 40-34.
Maryland men's basketball knows how important it is to get big minutes from your big men in today's game. From Purdue's Zach Edey to Iowa's Luka Garza, the Big Ten has shown how players in the front court can single-handedly change the game. It's something that both Julian Reese and Derek Queen have done this season with their size and physicality. Now, let's be real for a second. Not all of us are made of Reese's 6'9 frame or Queen's 6'10 freshman build. But number 18 Maryland sure is happy to have those two giants reuniting to lead its charge this season.
This is the Xfinity Center hoop number 17 Maryland women's basketball shot on in the first half Thursday against Nebraska. And off the tip, it looked like Maryland couldn't miss, making 5 of its 7 first-quarter threes and keeping pace in the second. But then the second half happened, and Maryland went ice cold on its home court's other hoop. The Terps shot just 27% over the final 20 minutes of play and dropped a third straight home game for the first time in 15 years.
Obviously, gymnastics isn't gonna take me out of college, so I wanted something that had that similar physical and mental toughness that gymnastics had.
Meet Maggie Murphy, a freshman for Maryland Gymnastics who this year became the first Terp to be a Division I athlete and cadet in the university's Army ROTC program. Murphy's passion first came about when doing Spartan races as a high school freshman, leading her to ROTC after committing to Maryland Gymnastics.
She just seems so excited, and she's definitely really passionate about it. I remember when I went into her room and she showed me her uniform for the first time, and she was just so excited to put it on and show us off.
And while his gymnasts do surprise Brett Nelligan, Maryland's head coach worked with Murphy to let her explore both interests.
You know, we say you're going to do gymnastics for 4, maybe 5 more years, but you're going to have your career for the rest of your life. So if this is something that you're interested in, we want to support it wholeheartedly.
And for Murphy, the freshman from Massachusetts says that she's at her best when challenging herself, both physically and mentally, getting better each day, whether it's here under the Xfinity Center lights or here at the Record Armory, where Murphy's days with Army ROTC start early and the start times speak for themselves.
Know how to kind of handle difficult situations with being under stress. No matter what, you're not gonna be perfect and there's gonna be failures. So I've honestly learned a lot from those failures to keep pushing myself.
Destroy or harass.
And that's what ROTC has helped me with, doing the different fitness trainings. Everyone's there behind you, which is what you have in gymnastics too.
And when Murphy says she has everyone behind her, she's including leaders at both programs who have helped her make a schedule that's stuck.
While I've seen some freshmen struggle their first semester in ROTC at balancing academic and ROTC requirements, I think she has the maturity and the discipline that's necessary to be able to be an athlete, a student, and a cadet. So it says a lot about her character.
You know, we just ask her to communicate to us. If you've had a really, early morning with the ROTC or a hard workout, we want to make sure that we adapt or adjust her workout so that she's safe in here.
Murphy and Maryland will continue to adjust as her accomplishments, like earning National Cadet of the Week in November, just keep adding up. In College Park, I'm Ryan Martin, Terrapin Sports Central.